Good evening. Lycoming IO-540 K1G5 build. The rods on this engine were significantly different in their weight categories. I believe it's A through F on the various rod weights when they forge them. Anyway, from about 110 up through about 124, I think was the top one. That they measure that when they rework the rods. Anyway, weighed everything. Just for point of reference, a dime weighs 2.21 grams. And this is where we started with the connecting rods, the bearings, the bolts, and the nuts. This is the rod number, which will correspond to the cylinder where it's going to go on the crankshaft. We can't control that. So number one was 1097.96. Then we had a 99.96. Then we had an 87.5, 86.03, 92.54, 97.0. Total weights was, if you sum those, is 60.99. Divide by 6 and you get a median of 1093.498. The difference between the heaviest rod, which was number 2, to the lightest rod, which was number 4, was almost 14 grams. And then then we moved to the all-up weights without the pistons. So I classified the rods with the bearings, the bolts, and the nuts. They get grouped from heaviest to lightest. So the difference was 2 grams between 2 and 1, 5.5 grams between 6 and 5, and 1.5 between 3 and 4. Then we weigh each of the ring packs. Now the ring packs, they are assigned to their cylinder. So this is cylinder number 408. This ring pack weighs 80.53 grams after it's been fitted. And then these are the fitment numbers. So with that information, again, classify from heaviest to lightest, and then the 2 heaviest rings had a delta of 0.08, the middle 2 had a delta of 0.25, and then the lightest pair had a delta of 0.02. And then if we move down here, now we're going to throw a piston into the mix. And this grouping here had wrist pins, so the wrist pins were different weights, and so based on this classification I assigned wrist pins, and then the deltas there was 3.55, 1.44, 1.32. That carries down here because then you need to put a piston with it. So then you arrange, the pistons are arranged A, B, C, D, E, and F based on their weights. So A is the heaviest at 1337.80, and F was the lightest at 1335.8. So knowing what my piston weights were, heaviest to lightest, you plug those in, and you want to try and get this thing where they're balanced up. So we put the heaviest piston with the lightest, or well, not the lightest, but one of the lighter rod combinations. So anyway, with the piston, then we get these weights. This is light, heavy, so those are opposing cylinder bays. Light, heavy, opposing cylinder bays. Light and heavy. The differences on those was 1.64, 0.16, which is almost zero, and then 1.26. Then we go and we take our ring information and we put the heaviest ring pack with the lightest assembly, with the piston, pin, rod bearing, the rod, the bolts, and the nuts. Oh, and the wrist pin plugs, they get thrown in there also. That happens up here. So this is everything together. So now we've assigned the piston, the rod package, the ring package, and that generates that weight. So that's everything that's flying around in the cylinder. 2933.59. Then the opposing bay, number 6, is 2934.59, difference of 1 gram. So we improved. You can see we improved each time, but a difference of we improved 0.64. So we went from 1.64 to 1.0 in that bay, those opposing cylinders. And then cylinders 1 and 2, we went from 0.16, which didn't really need any correction. We improved it and got to 0.13. And then cylinders 4 and 3 went from 1.26 to, I had to do some scribbling here, to 0.79. So we improved that quite a bit. So yeah, the difference between cylinders left to right is less than a half of a dime. So next time you pick up a dime, that's how in balance all this assembly is. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye.